Welcome to MWR Life on Air. I'm your host, Melissa Schaffner. In this week's show, we'll talk about the kickoff of the Eagle Challenge Fitness Tour, the Love Your Heart Health Fair, 10K, 5K, and 1 mile fun run. And then we'll talk with the manager of Fort Campbell Aquatics. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The Love Your Heart Health Fair is the first event of this year's Eagle Challenge Fitness Tour. Captain Deehl and Captain Glass are here now to discuss it. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you.
We're so glad to have you both here today. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to come tell us about the very first event of the Eagle Challenge Fitness Tour. So how did you guys get so lucky to be planning the first event of the Eagle Challenge Fitness Tour?
Captain Glass and I have been runners for years. We both participated in the Army 10-miler competition in D.C. We've represented Fort Campbell. She's also represented Korea. So we've been running for many years, and we got tasked this, and we started, on our typical weekly runs together. We started discussing and strategizing and planning how are we going to do the race, how are we going to do the health fair, how are we going to just make it bigger, make it outside of the gates of post, bring in other people within the community as well. So it went from there.
Captain Glass, tell me, how was it that you're, tasked with this event? Did they give it to certain units?
I work at the cache, and me personally, the commander called me into his office for something else, and he said, "Hey, have you ever run a race before?" As in, not run, like actually run, but put one together. And I was like, well, yeah, I've done that before. And he was like, oh, great, so you can do this race we're doing in February. I was like, okay, sir. Guess I am. So that's kind of where that part got started.
You have a lot of knowledge in this area, and I think that everyone wanted to start this year-long Eagle Challenge Fitness Tour with a baseline of, where we're at health-wise and then making long-term lifestyle changes. So obviously, for someone who doesn't exercise on a regular basis, which isn't you guys, I mean, you're soldiers, you're running for fun, I'm assuming as well. You both love to run and race. But for someone else, it's important for them to make sure that they take this at a healthy pace, which might actually be slower than a soldier who's been running all their life, right?
Definitely.
And that's where the health fair comes in.
Yes, and there are opportunities too with this race to do a 1 mile walk or run if that is their level at this point in time, and they can build up over time. But also at the health fair, there's going to be medical providers, doctors, nurses, medics. They're going to do blood pressure checks. They're going to be checking height, weight, body fat percentage, do a lot of risk assessments, and then give recommendations as well.
So you're a nutritionist with the hospital, so you know a lot about what people should and shouldn't eat, I'm sure.
Right.
And that's kind of something that, we think about when we're talking about getting a healthier lifestyle. It's not just the exercise, but it's also what we put in our mouths. For somebody who's just starting a fitness routine and hopefully is going to make a lifestyle change over the course of the year, what are some of the most important things that you would tell them to think about in terms of what they consume?
Okay. Well, one of the big things I see, particularly with our soldiers, is that we're so busy, we don't have a lot of time, and we don't make time for lunch. We'll work through lunch and skip it, and then we become very hungry, and by the time we get out of work, instead of planning and taking the time to prepare a healthy meal, because it does take a little extra time, we're starving, and then we'll go to, Burger King or get fast food or have an unhealthy meal. So the best thing to do is provide time in the day, plan ahead, prepare your meals in advance, take the time, don't work through lunch, take the time to eat a healthy meal. And also, instead of 1 or 2 big meals a day, as most Americans typically do, it's better to eat small, frequent meals several times throughout the day, 5 to 6 times throughout the day. And that actually will jumpstart your metabolism, kind of revs up your engine, so to speak.
So when you were getting ready to run the 10-miler, what kinds of things would you eat in preparation for doing a race like that? Or are you not a good example?
I'm a horrible example. I am a chocolate fiend. So there's all the food groups plus chocolate, in my opinion. And I kind of, because I run so much, and I have been for a long time, I eat whatever I feel like. So yeah, I'm a bad example, but I do eat a lot of dairy. So yogurt, cheese, milk. Chocolate milk is great. Christina agrees. Chocolate milk is great. So I can get that in, and it's good for you. But yeah.
Do you think that, okay, turning this around in the perspective of someone who's just getting started, though, if they were to have an active lifestyle like you clearly do, it means that maybe they could eat more things that are on the bad food list, possibly, because you're processing it. And here she's going to say, but dark chocolate's good for us, right? I mean, this is February.
Dark chocolate in moderation, and I do enjoy chocolate too.
Moderation.
I do. But no, studies have shown that there's been studies in women saying that, those women that actually go to the gym and work out more are eating more unhealthy foods because we somehow rationalize it in our head that I went to the gym and I burned so many calories that I deserve that extra cookie, or I worked hard so I can eat that larger meal. And we're actually self-defeating. So
you just got to keep going and going to get rid of that Burger King, I guess, huh?
Yeah, well, I don't know about you, but I know, especially during training season, I don't want greasy food. I don't like fast food. I won't eat it because it just doesn't taste good to me. I tend to crave stuff that's healthier anyways. So yes, I eat a lot of sweets and a lot of chocolate, but on the other side is I do eat a lot of fruits and vegetables and the more healthy stuff, lean fat, like the leaner meats, minimal fat, and that kind of thing. I don't know. Do you have that?
Absolutely. No, that's a good example because if we're, living a more sedentary lifestyle and we eat kind of unhealthy, that's what we're used to. That's what we're in the rhythm of. But once we start doing exercise on a daily basis and we start making those changes and going towards the healthier meals, it becomes habitual and our body gets used to it to the point where if we have something out of the ordinary that's fattening or bad for us, then it starts to feel gross or unhealthy. Particularly the more you exercise and the healthier lifestyle you lead, the more your body craves those healthier.
So it's kind of like one thing at a time, maybe replacing soda with water or carrying vegetables and fruits to work so that you do have those healthy snacks. And those are just some of the things that people are going to learn at the health fair that's being held. It's at the Sportsman's Lodge.
Right.
February the 22nd, which is a Friday from 11 to 7. And it's in conjunction with our MWR Family Fun Fair event that day as well. So there's all kinds of things going on out there. It's outside the gate at the Sportsman's Lodge, so anybody can come. And best of all, for our racers, they can pick up their packets there during that day. And from 11 to 7, you could go at lunch, you can go at dinner, after work, whatever works best. They can come down and see all of these great folks from the cache and from the hospital who are providing information. So that's the first day of this 2-day event.
Yep.
Yes. And the information provided isn't going to be just specifically for the running person or specifically for people who aren't runners. It's kind of a mixture of both. So we will have all the health screens for people who want to learn about their health, but we're also going to have physical therapists, occupational therapists. So if you feel like you've had a sports injury in the past, they can teach you exercises on how to, work that joint or work those muscles to improve your wellness so that you can participate in more exercise events. And we also have a sports medicine doctor that's going to be there, and he's going to be analyzing the way you walk, the way you run, and doing shoe prescription. So runners might be interested in that.
So there's something sort of for the everyday runner or somebody who likes to compete in races, all the way back to the person who might be making this their first event and only walking a mile.
Absolutely.
So throughout the year, they're making lifestyle changes and they will see some of these things. And, those will all be important, not just what you're feeling like in February, but what you're feeling like in November when this is all over. Now, the actual race day, okay, what's the plan? I know it's at Camp Hinge, but what time should people be there?
We'll start late registration, if you will, race day registration, 6:30. And the 1 miler starts at 8. And then we'll give them 30 minutes to walk down a mile and come back. Come a little bit early, maybe 7:15, and then that gives you time to get warmed up. If you need to buy a packet, you can do that. Get parking, do all your business before you start the run. And then 8 o'clock is the 1 miler. 8:30 we'll start the 10K, and it's straight down Jordan Springs, all the way down, come back. And then I think it's 3 or 5 minutes later, we'll do the 5K. So both races will be out at the same time. Running races, anyways, will be out at the same time, and then they'll come back. And so it's just a straight out and back course.
So it's the same course for both the 10K and the 5K, but obviously one has a turnaround point at the halfway point, and they'll both leave within minutes of each other, around 8:30. Is the plan.
Yes.
So get there early to get parking, to stretch and warm up, to pick up your packet if you didn't stop at the health fair the day before. And I imagine we're going to be providing water at the event. So, that's important, the hydration. What about weather? If there's any kind of weather, where would a weather call be made and when?
If there is weather call, so say Friday, like we did, recently with the ice storm, they came out and they said, hey, late call. So we found out 5 o'clock, 1700. There's late call the next day. So we'll do something like that. And, with the Army, they send out systems through the EOC and it goes to staff duty. So we'll kind of do the same thing, but we'll send out email, text message alerts through your registration. And we'll also post it on the MWR website. And then we will have somebody at the start point, up at Camp Hinch in the morning saying, hey, either it's 2-hour delay, 4-hour delay, we're going to call this until another day, whatever the case may be. We'll have multiple ways to get people the information.
So there's a plan in place, but great places to check would include the MWR website, our Facebook page. Those are good places to follow up. But if you've registered for the race, you'll get a message automatically.
Yes.
That's a great plan because you register on the Fort Campbell MWR website. Can't miss the Eagle Challenge Fitness Tour logo to click through. You can register there now for that. And for the USO 10-miler next month, and pretty soon you'll be able to register for other events. But I just want to thank both of you ladies so much for taking hold of this first project and, being the example that so many other units are going to follow as they plan their events throughout the year. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you.
And we'll see you at the Love Your Heart events.
All right.
We'll be right back.
With literally tons of vehicles on Air Assault Auto's You Buy, You Sell page, it's easy to find the one that suits you and your family best. Whether it be a sleek motorcycle or a comfortable family SUV, you can find it all on the website. Just go to FortCampbellMWR.com, click on the You Buy, You Sell lot link to learn more, and see pictures of current vehicles for sale. Stop by Air Assault Auto today to sell your vehicle, boat, camper, trailer, or motorcycle. MWR, serving soldiers, families, retirees, and civilians.